I'm gonna give this name a shot. I think it says Adamantium Unloaded. He says Stanionis is fighting Spence December 17th at Cowboy Stadium. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen December 17th. Stanionis is the name that I've heard most linked to Spence.
Yeah.
He's also a mandatory.
Yeah.
And he was the one that stepped aside for him to fight Ugas.
Yeah. He's the IBF mandatory.
IBF mandatory. Yeah, so I guess we might as well just dive in with that. It's frustrating.
Somebody said, come on, Spence versus Crawford talk.
Yeah, so it's frustrating as a boxing fan. And it's especially frustrating as there's been, whether it's reports or breadcrumbs of, this date might happen. They've agreed to this. They haven't agreed to that. Errol has all the belts except for one.
Yeah.
And the other one is Terrence Crawford has. So it's frustrating when everything, it's like if you were watching a TV show and everything built up to something, and then all of a sudden the finale got canceled or went completely left, and you were like, what the heck? What's going on here? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
We just knew they were gonna fight.
Yeah.
And now they're not.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have overall kind of a general reaction to
it's just what I know.
Yeah.
And I know that Terrence has always you guys, whatever you see on YouTube or you see in a fight with Terrence, that's just flat out who he is. You obviously experienced Terrence through the course of a weekend. You know exactly how he is. He's just very, very stern, very
stubborn,
extremely stubborn. I'd bet that he's the most stubborn person in the world.
We threw a football in the street for 45 minutes because he wanted to prove that he could throw it 60 yards.
So when it comes to this fight, I don't know the business side of it, and I have not talked to Terrence, and I have not talked to Errol. I let them guys do what they got to do. But what my feeling is that Terrence has said, I need A, B, C, and D, and we can get it on. And one of those alphabets is not being met.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the most stubborn guy in boxing.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most stubborn guys in sports.
Yeah.
And if he's not getting what he feels he deserves, what he wants, then he's saying, I'm going to go a different direction, So I was different. And everybody's like, well, you didn't duck anybody and you fought everybody and you never fought about the money and it was never a problem. Why is it such a problem for other fighters? Other fighters didn't conduct their business the way that I was conducting my business. As you see now, I'm 35 years old. I just turned 35. Yeah. And I'm well into maybe 3 or 4 other straight up businesses. I'm working very hard. Boxing was not the only thing on my mind, was not the only thing that I wanted to do. No offense to anybody else, but these other guys they're squeezing those lemons. They're getting everything that they can get out of every fight. And it's no knock. You have to respect them at some capacity for understanding what they want, what they deserve, what they feel they need. There's a lot of times where you see fighters not fight who you expect them to fight, but the money is still what they need it to be, you know? So I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I encourage everybody not to give up on boxing, not to give up on the business of boxing, to just understand that both of these fighters doing what they feel is best. And if it wasn't right now, I do expect that eventually it does get right. And I'm going to go on record for saying I think it gets right at 154.
Okay.
And I like to fight for both guys at 154. I was talking to somebody just the other day, and they said they didn't like the fight at 154 because they think that Terrence will be too small. And they said, he's coming up from 130. So what? He was a young man at 130. He's a grown man now at 47 and possibly 54 if it happens. When it happens.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. It's frustrating. I don't know if maybe in my mind am just kind of built to be let down. So I didn't even I wasn't maybe as invested as other people. I was just kind of I don't think it.
100%. I saw the date and I was like, okay.
But I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I
I had people. I had somebody call me, told me that they bought plane tickets.
A lot of people
I
did.
said,
Yeah.
I said, yo, you got your insurance on that plane ticket, right?
Yeah.
I said, I don't mean to speak any ill, and
Yeah.
I don't mean to be negative,
Yeah.
but make sure you get your
Flights,
flight.
hotels,
Yeah,
like people were
yeah.
making it happen. But
I love to see that people are so excited about it,
yeah.
but you just have to understand that, like, until you see both guys in the press conference,
Right.
that's when you know it's real.
I just Errol
So keep
Spence.
that in mind, y'all. You
Yeah.
see a press conference,
Errol Spence to
make your
me,
move.
I think he's the best welterweight on the planet. I told Terrence
I'm
Crawford
not
that
mad at
in
you.
a lengthy conversation.
Yeah, extremely
I
lengthy.
I don't Errol Spence is he's maybe the guy I trust the most in boxing.
Yeah.
He's the truth.
And he's a little
And
bit more like me in the
yeah,
sense that he's like, you tell me what it is, and
yeah.
we getting it
And
on, you
that's
know?
not and by me saying that is not to discredit Terrence. I have a
Sure,
lot of
sure,
love
sure,
for
sure,
Terrence. I
sure.
enjoyed the time we hang out with Terrence,
Yeah,
but Errol had everything that Errol has said he's gonna do,
yeah.
every single thing has happened.
Yeah, can't knock
He
that.
obviously was Kel's mandatory. He goes over, gets the IBF, and he was like, "Hey, you line him up,
Yeah,
I'm knocking him down."
yeah.
And he's collected all of these belts.
My dad said he was like that
Yeah,
when he was in the
he's
games too.
taken so
Yeah,
when it comes to if somebody's just like, "Hey, who do you believe more?" I
yeah.
just believe Errol Spence more.
Yeah,
And Errol Spence doesn't have a random fight out of nowhere that got announced. That's Terrence Crawford.
yeah,
So if you have another fight, clearly
yeah,
you weren't fighting that guy.
yeah.
So we don't even need to talk about that fight yet. I'm sure you guys will dive into it. Bud and Avanesian. I hope Terrence is getting the money that they're rumoring that he's getting. Fight doesn't interest me. Sorry, is what it is.
Hey, real quick about that though, this is a question for you.
Yeah.
Is it so bad for him not to have all of his eggs in one basket?
For Terrence Crawford,
Yeah.
if you don't, in that case, not having all of his eggs in one basket, to me, gives off the impression that you weren't fully invested to make that fight happen.
Well, think about it like this. If I'm going to do business with somebody that I've never done business before, I would go in protecting myself.
Yeah.
Have a backup plan. Have a plan B, so to speak. Again, you know, I just I feel like Terrence is prepared to do now what he's never been able to do, which is have control of his career.
Yeah.
And I think that it's somewhat admirable in that respect that him wanting to control his career is, hey, if I'm not getting what I need over here, I'm going over here and I'm getting it over here. Again, very stubborn of him.
Yeah.
Very all of that of him to not try to work this out and so on and so forth. And again, yeah, we don't really know what capacity the conversations and all that got into, but
Yeah.
I just at the end of the day, I know people are like, yo, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
I thought you were working on Errol Spence. And it's like, well, I'm trying to be patient. They're not working with me, so I'm going over here to get
And
my
then
bag.
I mean, there's the classic saying, which may be one of the most accurate statements ever is there's three sides of every story.
Sure.
And there's the truth.
Sure.
There's this, and the truth.
Sure.
Funny enough, Errol Spence is the truth. But Errol's like, yeah, he was stalling, this, and this. Bud's like, yeah, he wasn't even around for the negotiations. So clearly both of those things can't be true.
Yeah.
But it's a mess.
Well, I mean, NFL running back does not negotiate their deals. The
Yeah.
agent negotiates the deal.
Right.
You call me, tell me what it is. Nah, I can't do that. We want more.
Yeah.
And, you know, so yeah, no, this is not the NFL and no business isn't done the exact same way. But now Terrence is handling his own career.
Yeah.
And he has to what Terrence has to understand. I'm gonna speak directly to you, Terrence. What you have to understand is people are only going to respect you for what you do. If you're a fighter, people are going to respect you for being a fighter. People don't know you for being a businessman. So you put people in place that they respect to work that business out for you.
Yeah.
Because people are just not going to be receptive to you and do things with you the way you expect them or want them to do it. The respect level is not there, you know? I think for me, like I made a smooth transition into commentary and doing boxing analytical work. But if I just jumped on at the drop of a dime on what Crawford on Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, people I'm sure would be looking at this like, let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
You know, I had enough put into the bank that now people understand that I can do certain things.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think it got kind of messy, and I think that yeah, I don't know.
I hope they figure it out.
Yeah.
I do. I'm not holding my breath. I don't I
And I
mean,
heard
you got
something that Errol's like, yo, I'm going to 154. I'm not wasting my time with this.
I probably would.
Yeah.
You had the majority of the belts. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
and Errol all along, and obviously he did. He tweeted, he's like, yeah, it's tough making 47. He's a big guy. He's been at 47 for his whole career.
Yeah.
Which was another part of the debate that I had with Bud. But it's just something where Bud has multiple times said, I don't need Errol Spence. I'm this, which he is.
Yeah.
He has a great resume. He's a great fighter. I told him he's a great father. He's a great basketball player. He's just not the best at 147. But
I think that's the one he needs.
And I think Errol has consistently said, no, he's the guy I want to fight. But now Errol's probably like, tough break. Didn't happen. Like, kind of is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. It's exhausting. And then Errol fans are going crazy after Bud. I know certain fans of Bud are like, I'm done with him. I'm frustrated because he's been, to be fair, Top Rank had him in a spot where it was tough to make big fights. So you see this list of Errol Spence's fights at 147.
Yeah.
And Bud doesn't have those fights on his resume.
Yeah.
But it's what it is.
Kind of like self-sabotage in some respects.
Because it's like, okay, this guy keeps having big fights, and now we want you in a big fight with him.
Yeah.
You didn't make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, now you're fighting Avanesian, who, again, he's an okay fighter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disrespect any fighter, but I mean,
it's not the caliber you want.
Like,
it's not the
and
caliber.
Virgil Ortiz, if you were just going to take a random off fight that's not Errol Spence, Virgil Ortiz is right there waiting for you.
Yeah.
WBO mandatory.